2 Samuel Chapter 23. Now these are the last words of David, the declaration of David the son of Jesse, and the declaration of the man who has been raised up on high, the anointed of the God of Jacob, the one lovely in the Psalms of Israel. The Spirit of Jehovah spoke through me, and his word was on my tongue. The God of Israel spoke, the Rock of Israel spoke to me, he who rules among men righteously, he who rules with the fear of God. And he is like the light of the morning when the sun rises, a morning without clouds, as when the tender grass sprouts up from the earth at the sun's shining after a rain. For is not my house so with God? For he has made an eternal covenant with me, ordered in all things and secure. For all my salvation and all my desire, will he not indeed make them grow? But the wicked, all of them, will be like thorns to be thrust away, because they cannot be taken with the hand. But the man who touches them must arm himself with an iron rod or with the shaft of a spear, and they will be burned with fire in their place. These are the names of the mighty men whom David had: Joshab-Basshebeth a Tekemonite, he was the chief of the captains, the same as Adino the Eznite, who fought against 800 who were slain at one time. After him was Eleazar the son of Dodo, the son of an Ahohite, one among the 3 mighty men with David, when they defied the Philistines who were gathered there for battle, and the men of Israel went away. He rose up and struck the Philistines until his hand was weary, and his hand clung to the sword, and Jehovah accomplished a great salvation that day, and the people returned after him, but only to strip the slain. And after him was Shammah the son of Agi the Hararite. Now the Philistines were gathered into a troop where there was a plot of land full of lentils, and the people fled before the Philistines. But he stationed himself in the midst of the plot and defended it and struck the Philistines, and Jehovah accomplished a great salvation. Now 3 of the 30 chief men went down and came to David at harvest time in the cave of Adullam, and the Philistine troop was encamped in the valley of Rephaim. Now at that time David was in the stronghold, and the garrison of the Philistines was at that time in Bethlehem. And David said longingly, if only someone would give me water to drink from the well of Bethlehem that is by the gate. And the 3 mighty men burst through the camp of the Philistines and drew water from the well of Bethlehem that is by the gate. And they carried it and brought it to David, but he would not drink it, rather he poured it out to Jehovah. And he said, Far be it from me, O Jehovah, that I should do this. Shall I drink the blood of the men who went at the risk of their lives? Therefore he would not drink it. These things the 3 mighty men did. And Abishai the brother of Joab, the son of Zeruiah, was chief of the 3. And he brandished his spear against 300, who were slain, and he had a name among the 3. He was indeed the most honored among the 30, and he became their leader, but he did not attain to the 3. And Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, the son of a valiant man from Kabzeel, was great in mighty deeds. He struck the 2 sons of Ariel the Moabite. He also went down and struck a lion in the midst of a pit on a snowy day. And he struck an Egyptian, an imposing man. And the Egyptian had a spear in his hand, but he went down to him with a staff and snatched the spear out of the hand of the Egyptian and slew him with his own spear. These things Benaiah the son of Jehoiada did, and he had a name among the 3 mighty men. He was more honored than the 30, but he did not attain to the 3. And David set him over his bodyguard. Asahel the brother of Joab was one of the 30, Elhanan the son of Dodo of Bethlehem. Shammah the Haradite, Elika the Haradite. Helez the Paltite, Ira the son of Ikesh the Tekoite. Abiezer the Anathothite, Mebani the Hushathite. Zalman the Ahohite, Maharai the Netophathite. Helab the son of Baanah the Netophathite, Ittai the son of Ribai from Gibeah of the children of Benjamin. Benaiah the Pirathonite, Hiddai from the brooks of Gash. Abialban the Arbathite, Asmaveth the Baramite. Eliab the Shalbonite, of the sons of Jashan, Jonathan. Shammah the Hararite, Ahiam the son of Sherar the Ararite. Eliphalet the son of Ahasbai, the son of the Maacathite, Eliam the son of Ahithophel the Gilonite. Hezrai the Carmelite, Parai the Arbite. Igal the son of Nathan of Zobah, Bani the Gadite. Zelek the Ammonite, Naharai the Beerothite, the armor-bearer to Joab the son of Zeruiah. Ira the Ithrite, Gareb the Ithrite. Uriah the Hittite. They were 37 in all. 2 Samuel. Chapter 24. And again the anger of Jehovah was kindled against Israel, and he moved David against them, saying, Go, number Israel and Judah. And the king said to Joab the captain of the army, who was with him, Go now throughout all the tribes of Israel, from Dan to Beersheba, and count the people, that I may know the number of the people. And Joab said to the king, Now may Jehovah your God add to the people 100 times as many as they are, while the eyes of my lord the king may see it. But why does my lord the king desire this thing? Nevertheless the king's word prevailed against Joab and against the captains of the army. And Joab and the captains of the army went forth before the king to count the people of Israel. And they crossed the Jordan and encamped at Aroer to the right of the city, which was in the midst of the river valley, toward Gad and unto Jazer. Then they came to Gilead and to the land of Tadimhodshi, and they came to Danjon and around to Sidon. And they came to the stronghold of Tyre and all the cities of the Hivites and of the Canaanites, and they went on to the south of Judah at Beersheba. And when they had gone about throughout all the land, they came to Jerusalem at the end of 9 months and 20 days. And Joab gave the number of the count of the people to the king. And there were in Israel 800,000 valiant men who drew the sword, and the men of Judah were 500,000 men. And David's heart smote him after he had numbered the people. And David said to Jehovah, I have sinned greatly in what I have done, but now, O Jehovah, put away the iniquity of your servant, for I have acted very foolishly. And when David rose up in the morning, the word of Jehovah came to Gad the prophet, David's seer, saying, Go and speak to David, thus says Jehovah, I am offering you 3 things, choose one of them for me to do for you. So Gad went to David and told him these things. And he said to him, Shall 7 years of famine come upon you in your land? Or shall you flee before your adversaries for 3 months while they pursue you? Or shall there be 3 days of pestilence in your land? Consider now and see what word I should return to him who sent me. And David said to Gad, I am in a great strait, let us fall into the hand of Jehovah, for his compassions are great, and do not let me fall into the hand of man. So Jehovah sent a pestilence in Israel from the morning until the appointed time, and 70,000 people died among the people from Dan to Beersheba. And when the angel stretched forth his hand toward Jerusalem to destroy it, Jehovah repented of the harm. And he said to the angel who destroyed the people, It is enough, now hold back your hand. And the angel of Jehovah was by the threshing floor of Araunah the Jebusite. And David spoke to Jehovah when he saw the angel striking the people and said, It is I who have sinned, and it is I who have acted wickedly. But these sheep, what have they done? Let your hand, I pray, be against me and against the house of my father. And Gad came to David on that day, and he said to him, Go up and raise up an altar to Jehovah on the threshing floor of Araunah the Jebusite. And David went up according to Gad's word, as Jehovah had commanded. And Araunah looked out and saw the king and his servants coming over toward him. And Araunah went forth and bowed down before the king with his face to the ground. And Araunah said, Why has my lord the king come to his servant? And David said, To buy the threshing floor from you to build an altar to Jehovah, that the plague may be stayed among the people. And Araunah said to David, May my lord the king take and offer up whatever seems good in his sight. Look, the oxen for the burnt offering and the threshing instruments and the yokes for the oxen for the wood. All this, O king, does Araunah give to the king. Then Araunah said to the king, May Jehovah your God accept you. But the king said to Araunah, No, but I will surely buy it from you for a price, and I will not offer to Jehovah my God burnt offerings that cost me nothing. So David bought the threshing floor and the oxen for 50 shekels of silver. And there David built an altar to Jehovah, and he offered burnt offerings and peace offerings. And Jehovah responded to the entreaty for the land, and the plague was stayed in Israel.